You are tuned into the Hustleman show, and today we have a very special guest, Kevin Bussey, man. He is running for mayor of Valdosta, and he invited me to his home, so we are having a sit down and discussing why he should be our next mayor. Um, Most of y'all should know by now, I was born and raised in Valdosta. These are where my roots come from, and he's a young guy. So we're going to start off with this question about you being young, which I know you probably heard it a million times, but people like my mom that's set in their ways,
Right.
how can you talk to somebody like that and get them to lean towards your way?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to understand is that the older generation is much needed. They've witnessed and seen some things that we've never seen before, especially in my generation, being a millennial. And I think it's very much needed that we need them to help us lead and guide us. But at the same time, we have to be ready and willing to pass that torch on to the next generation. Our city of Valdosta is very youthful, and with being youthful comes new technology, fresh ideas, and perspectives. And we don't want to continue to lose out on those things. So we want to make sure that we understand that we need our older generation, but at the same time, we want to make sure that they pass that torch and understand that with change, it can be scary, but it's very much needed.
Right. Now, it'll be a few of those, well, more than a few, that probably don't really know much about you. So give us a little bit of information about your background, where was you raised, how you came up, some of your military background. We know a little something, but let us know.
Well, I was born and raised right here in the city of Valdosta, Georgia, in most people would say the low-income, poverty-level areas where there's a lot of crime and a lot of issues on that side of town. Wise and Baker Lane. So most people asking me, so you already know.
My neck of the woods.
Neck of the woods,
Lee
right?
Street.
Lee Street, there you go. Yeah. So most people would understand how hard it is. The more that you try to go out and do something positive and be more successful in life, seems like the more that the negativity try to pull you back in. But it was because of mentors like Vanotis Williams, retired Vanotis Williams, football coaches, and just the mentorship from the local community really helped spearhead me into a different direction in my life. And so I was able to graduate from high school, went off and served in the military for 13 years, seen some wartime activity over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and was injured in war as well, which led me to be medically discharged in February of 2015. After that, I went off and served for the United States Department of Commerce by way of the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, and worked for the White House from 2016 to 2017. So telling a little boy from the south side of Valdosta, Georgia, that you're going to get a chance to go work in one of the most prestigious places ever was a dream come true. And so that is something very memorable in my life. After doing that, I really just truly felt like Washington, D.C. wasn't my home. It wasn't where my heart was. It was so many opportunities there. The money was great. The people were great. But it just wasn't where my heart was. And so I decided to come on back to Valdosta, Georgia, to implement everything that I've learned through the School of Hard Knocks, through my education, through my military service, my federal government service, and implement everything that I went through in my life to help spearhead some of the social and economic development here in the city of Valdosta.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference between you and the other candidates? I know y'all might agree and disagree on certain topics, but what do you bring to the table that you don't think the other candidates can bring to the table?
Well, the first thing, which you could tell by my pretty face, is youth. In a more youthful city, we want to feel like we're being represented. It's hard to say, and I believe every other candidate is 62 and above. And so having those individuals not being able to be relatable to a very youthful city when you have 17,000 kids out at VSU, you have a very young military Air Force base here in Moody Air Force Base, and you got a very youthful city with the median age being 28. So by me being 33, going through all the things that I've been through in my life, I think I'm able to be relatable to this very youthful city. Now, we have some great candidates. I tell everybody, I'm not a career politician. But with that being said, I want to make sure that everybody go out and do their research. Make sure that your views and your values and your morals line up with that individual. Not voting just because a person is black, white, young, or old, but making sure that your views and your values and your morals are lining up with that individual, and then you go out and cast your ballot for that individual. The other thing that separates me from them is that I'm actively engaged into the community in every which way possible. You're going to find me in Stone Creek. You're going to find me over in Kindaloo. You're going to find me on the south side of Valdosta in the projects area, having water wars with those individuals out there. You're going to see me over in the Forest Mania. I think now it's called Brittany Woods.
Right.
So, I mean, every facet of this community, you're going to find me there. I believe that is a very instrumental part of being the mayor of Valdosta, is being actively engaged into our city. Mayor Rainwater, that name comes up very often into the discussion of politics here in the city of Valdosta. And one thing that I know about him, and I had a lovely opportunity to meet his wife, but I would remember him strapping on those cowboy boots.
Right.
But I would see him everywhere. See him running around town, greeting everybody, welcoming everybody to the city of Valdosta, and just speaking so highly of the greatness of Valdosta and everything that we have to offer here. And so that's what I want to be. I want to be a beacon of hope and light to a city that's growing and that's youthful, and want to make sure that this place is 20 years down the road for the future generation to come better than it is today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've been in Atlanta for a few years now, so I seen a whole nother, coming from Valdosta going to Atlanta, you see a whole different environment, and I try to tell people we more than just football.
More than just football.
More than just football. So can you enlighten us on some of the, like if you had to talk to some of those people that I talked to and try to get them to visit or maybe even check out our town, tourism, and what could you tell them to get them to want to visit other than going to a football game?
Well, I will highlight on one thing. Truthfully, football has really helped spearhead our city into higher heights. It has given opportunity for individuals that want to come into our city. Just that southern hospitality and that great football atmosphere, it brings a lot of light to Valdosta, Georgia. But on top of that, we have an airport here. I think the third longest runway in the state of Georgia that can land pretty much any aircraft. So anybody that wants to come out and shoot movies in our area, they're able to have direct access right here to our airport. We have I-75 and Highway 84, and we're 40 miles away from I-10, and so we're geographically in a strategic place that many other cities can't offer. On top of that, you have Wild Adventures here. You have the Moody Air Force Base here. You have Valdosta State University, is one of the most diverse universities, and it is really truly growing into its own. And so we have so much here. We have a South Georgia Medical Center, our own hospital, which is very vital because a lot of cities can't say that. So we have a lot going for ourselves here in the city of Valdosta. The only thing that I would want to see this place change is the mentality. I believe that's the difference between Atlanta and Valdosta. It's just the mentality of the people, and I believe we're headed in the right direction. We're bringing so much here. We're starting to get more jobs. Governor Kemp has went and spoke along with the Lowndes Valdosta Development Authority, have brought these guys in and brought $124 million capital project, which will give 150 jobs to people here in the city of Valdosta. So things are starting to look up, and I think that we just got to make sure that we got the right people in the right place at the right time, and this city is going to go to places that we've always imagined. You've been from Valdosta, you probably heard many times, our city is stagnant. It's not going anywhere. It's still, we're competing with Tifton and Macon when we should be competing with Savannah and Atlanta. But the truth is that our city is really going places. We got some great people in great places, and we just need just the onesies and the twosies to get them to those certain positions, and we're going to be okay. This city's going to be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to get clean anyway to do this interview. You got me beat on that, but I did go to church today, so, I come from old school church, and it's not a lot of young people in there anymore. When I was coming up, I was in the choir, and we had to be there. And I don't know what they can do to get the kids back in there, but it's the same thing with voting. What's some suggestions that you have to bring these young people in? I mean, you being young yourself, a lot of kids, some of them with it, but if you're old enough to vote, it seemed like it would be more important. And the numbers are rising. But how can we get that kid that's like, man, my vote don't matter? How can we get them in? And
Well, I I think with the city of Valdosta, the problem is that they've seen the same status quo. It's almost, what's the point in voting
Right.
if everything is going to stay the same? Even if I go out and cast my ballot, is anything ever going to change for the city of Valdosta? And so I think the truth of it is that if we give an individual a reason to vote, they go out and vote. By having somebody that's 33 years of age and somebody that's very actively involved into the community, that has taken the government 101 course, the CPA, the Citizens Police Academy, the Firefighters Academy, and just done all these things to put himself in place to come out and be able to represent and be the biggest cheerleader for Valdosta, I think that gives them an opportunity to say, you know what, that's somebody that I want to vote for. That's somebody that I want to support. So I think if you give them a reason to go out and vote, I think that truly they'll go out and they'll cast that ballot. We just got to get them actively involved. There's so many people trying to say, man, these kids need to get up and do something. They need to get off the games. They need to. But I'm going to tell you, society is changing. This generation has so much more to offer. These guys can make thousands and thousands of dollars just by getting on YouTube and posting a video by, I think it's called Twitch. That's an $18 million project right there. But there's so much things that these guys can do, these kids can do. I'm not saying that they don't need to just sit around and just be on the game all day, but and maybe get out and do some yards and stuff of that magnitude. But we have to understand that our generation and our world is changing, and it's going more towards a technology-based society. So we need to more engage and engage those kids into wanting to do a little bit more that can pretty much help them because they can learn producing a video. They can do that on YouTube now. I mean, there's so many facets of life that these guys can get involved in. So we just want to make sure that we encourage the kids. But one thing is, they got to understand that voting is so important. So many people have bled and died. So many people have sacrificed their lives just to be able to have the opportunity to go out and cast a vote. I tell everybody, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these guys, they could have fought for anything. If they really wanted to fight for money, they could have fought for money to start off with the process of civil rights. But they found it necessary to find something to fight for that's going to be worthwhile, and that was voting. They knew that the power was right there in our ability to go out and cast our ballot. So I tell any child out there, go out there. If you're over the age of 18, go out there and cast your ballot. Do your research, do your homework, do your studying, and don't just go with a person just because of any other reason or something that may gravitate them more towards you. But more along the lines of your views and your values. And if it lines up with them, you go cast your ballot. And if you got younger kids, start the process early and let them know, hey, son or daughter, this is why we vote. This is the importance of voting. And take them to the ballot with you. Let them do the selecting for you. That way they already get involved more with the process at an early age. And so it won't come to them at a later age and to be second to none in their minds when they go out there over the age of 18 to cast their ballot for the first time. Yeah.
And with this question right here is, usually people are coming at you. What are you going to do for us? But in this case, I want to ask, what can the citizens of Valdosta do to improve not only economical health, but education? Those are the type of topics that come up, and they're going to ask you, what can you do? But what can the citizens do for as education and economical wealth and stuff like that?
It's vital that we get our education. Now, I have to admit that Valdosta High School, Lowndes High School, these guys are doing an incredible job of changing the culture and the narrative of the education system here in Valdosta. Back in our days, it was a little different. But these teachers, these professionals are actually going out there, they're teaching and providing them with resources to be successful in their everyday life. When I look at GMC and Wiregrass, they're offering everything from GED classes to trade schools to just every way that you can get an education to be more successful. Everybody's looking for the government to fix their issues. Well, the truth of it is that the government can't fix everything, especially at the local level, and most importantly in the city of Valdosta. The city of Valdosta runs off of what we call a manager-council format, which is called the weak form of government. The mayor doesn't have the power to change anything, so when 75% of your city looks pretty bad, and it looks like everything is progressing, going more towards the north side of town, and you're looking for that mayor to come in and fix that, well, the truth of it is that he can't. When a city is in need of transportation, and you're looking for the mayor to come in and fix that, he can't fix that either. The problem is that some of these things are going to be fixed at the very lowest level, and that starts with parenting, education, workforce, and all of those things will entice jobs to want to come here. When your graduation rate is up, most people don't know that the newspaper play a vital role into jobs coming into a city. If you have all of this negativity being blasted all over the airways, jobs are looking right over us, and they're saying, I don't want to go down there and bring my business to that location. So it's things that we can do as citizens every day, from the smallest thing, which is picking up trash and putting it into the trash bin, from just staying in school and getting that education, and just making sure that we stay out of trouble. Crime is going to be everywhere. In every city, it's going to be crime. But we have to find a way to decrease that. And I think that the police do an incredible job here in Valdosta, but community policing is better.
Right.
When I look on Brookwood and I go down one street, I think it's Brookwood Drive.
That was my old neighborhood.
You'll see community policing signs all the way out.
Right.
Why? Because they have determined to clean up their street and say, hey, I'm not going to allow individuals to move into this organization and rent and tear our city down or that street down. And we just have to take that same temperament across the citywide and say, hey, we're not going to operate in that type of manner. We're not going to allow individuals to come in here and sell drugs or cause all kind of ruckus on these streets. And so when we take our streets back, we take down the crime as well. And so that is government not being so involved, just doing their job, but the citizens taking the stand and say what we're going to operate on. And so that's how we take our city back. That's how we move forward, letting people know that the citizens have the say so in how our city is going to be looked at, not so much of the government.
And this will be my last question. I know a lot of over the nation people are worried about a recession, but if we could just do this, just our city, what can we all do? That's you, the community, everything. What can we do to keep that recession or that fear of a recession from happening?
Well, I'm very big onto entrepreneurship. I'm very big into trade schools. I think having all the great education is wonderful, but having a trade that you can always fall back on, even when we get to a point of having a recession, we still got money to be made. Bills still have to be paid. And if we got a trade, whether it's barbering, cosmetology, agriculture, or anything of that nature, there's always going to be a way to make money to keep food on our tables and bills paid and a roof over our head. And so that's what I would love for us to get back to, is having a trade. When I look back many years ago and I'm doing my studying, these guys were big. These were the subject matter experts in a lot of career fields. They were out doing agriculture. They were out doing things that most people wouldn't want to do. But nowadays, the generation are changing, and I'm not going out there to pick no cotton. I'm not going out there to do any kind of agriculture or farming or anything of that nature. So we have to get back into finding a trade that we're going to like, that's going to always bring money home to our homes, and make sure that our kids are taken care of and our families are taken care of and fed and sheltered. And I think that's how we can beat a recession. Valdosta is not, we're no stranger to a recession. We've been through it before, and it was tough. It was a difficult time for us, but we overcame it. And a lot of cities went through it very bad. They had it worse than we ever had it. But it was because of the leadership that was in place that we were able to stand strong and stand together, and we got past that. And so if it were to come again, I'm pretty certain that our city would do the same again. My city just showed us that unity and collaborative effort. We had an individual that had no family, served in the Air Force, Vietnam War veteran, and he was going home. His homegoing service was going to just be him and the Undertaker, pretty much. But our city stood tall and said, no, we're not going to let this guy go out like that. And so we had hundreds and hundreds of people come in, not knowing who this individual was, and stood together for a homegoing service for this individual. And I'm pretty certain that he was looking down, smiling, saying, I'm appreciative of the city of Valdosta. So we got to take that same temperament into everything that we do and stand together. We're stronger together than we are apart. It doesn't matter what you are, black or white, old or young, Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative. Together, we can change the face of our city. Our motto here is a city without limits. I believe that we can become a city without limits. And as a city, we can show the state how to become a state without limits. Then we can show the federal government how to be a federal government without limits. So it starts from the top, from the bottom up. And I believe that we can change the culture and the narrative of this nation by starting right here in the city of Valdosta, Georgia.
Okay, man. Listen, I enjoyed sitting down. Yes. I appreciate you inviting me to your home.
Yes, sir.
And please tell the people where they can reach you, where my mama can hit you up at it, when she need a new garbage can. Gotcha.
Look, I want to be the most actively engaged mayor that we've ever had, even better than what we've known with Mayor Rainwater. But I can be reached at 202-213-9690. That is my personal number. You can reach me on my website, www.busseyformayor.com. You can reach me at my email, votebusseymayor.com. You're going to always see me around, and don't be a stranger. Stop me, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. I want to be able to answer any question that you may have. One thing I want to tell you before we get out of here is that this city is about to be 60,000 strong, if not more, and that's based off of what the 2020 census is expecting. With 60,000 people, that means that those are 60 pieces of a puzzle that we got to find a way to put together to determine what we want Valdosta to become. And I'm certain that we can put these pieces together by adopting my motto: one team, one fight, one Valdosta. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
sir.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.